Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Going For It podcast. Today I'm sitting down with Thomas Fancutt, an Australian professional tennis player who reached the career high of 107 in doubles and the high of 382 in singles. He spent years on tour competing at a high level, building his career, and then everything paused after an unintentional anti-doping violation that led to a 10-month suspension. Now he's back, rebuilding from scratch and documenting his journey back to Grand Slams on social media. This will be a conversation about identity, starting over, and what it actually means to go for it when it's not perfect anymore. So let's get into it. That was a very long introduction, but a good one. Was it?
Yeah, it was good. It's
right?
always like funny hearing like intros of yourself.
Yes, and you're like saying there,
Yeah,
listening.
yeah.
You're like, well, that's correct. That's not correct. Well, thank you for being my guest and taking your time to.
No, thank you for inviting me, and I'm glad we worked out schedules. Made it
Yeah,
happen.
we're actually in China at
Yep.
the tournament where we both didn't get in, really.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those weeks that's tough to comprehend in a way.
Yeah, it is. It's been a crazy week so far, but we're here. We're making the most out of it.
Exactly.
So okay, but yeah, this conversation we'll see if we can make it as real as possible. Because tennis is not really just about highlights all the time. Let's go back to when you reached your career high, when everything was great. You were 107 in doubles, right? Were you just focusing at the time on doubles, or you were playing singles at the time as well?
So that was the end of the 2024 season. I finished 107, and I was a full double schedule, but my singles ranking was still 600 maybe. So I was signing in every tournament basically.
Okay.
And I probably got into like 50% of them. Like when I was playing singles, like I competed, but my schedule was very heavily, my practice with doubles. I had doubles partners that I was set with, and like I would prioritize doubles.
Doubles. And in your career, when did you decide to like prioritize doubles more?
Probably the end of 2023. I had my best singles year in 2023, but then I hurt my wrist and I hurt my elbow, and I'd always done well in doubles, and kind of had the hard conversation with my coach. And he was like, look, I think I got to make money. I want to play these big tournaments. I was like, there's an avenue. Like you're a proven good kind of doubles player. Like let's line everything up, make it happen. So yeah, committed to it. Did a full like from October to December was full like kind of doubles, boot camp, matches, tournaments. And then yeah, started 2024 going, let's do it. Let's do a full season, full dubs.
And how does it look like being 107 in doubles? Like what tournaments can you get into? Like, does it depend like on your partner? Did you have one partner? Like how did the life look like being 100 in the world in doubles?
So I finished the year in a bit of a hot streak in 2024. I think maybe 7 of my last challenges. I won 3 of them. And then, so I won the last challenger of the year in Japan. And I was 107. I was like, okay, wow, I'm probably a good chance of getting to AO, hopefully. And then I can play the 125 in Canberra. And then I got into the 250 as well. So it was like top challenger, 250, AO. Okay, wow, this looks good. And then I actually agreed to kind of play with a guy who was 90 at the time. So it was going to be like 107, 90. We were going to be set to play. And we played the 250 together, Matthew Romios and I. And we won a round, and then we lost to Bolelli and Vavasori, who were 3 pair in the world, tight. So okay, I reckon there's a good thing here. And then, so the schedule was looking good. It was going to be pretty good. Obviously not always 250s because the cuts fluctuate as they do, but it was going to be strong challenges most of the time. Signing up every 250, 500 Qs, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and were you making money then, or no?
I was making money because I was, obviously saving money with accommodation, and most places have breakfast, lunch, and I'm always been pretty frugal with my expenses. So I think I was definitely in the green finishing the year in doubles.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just always so curious, to hear everyone's perspective and how how they manage the finances and
Mm.
like, were you able to like afford a coach to travel with you or not really?
No,
That was not,
no,
you would not be in the green then.
that was, yeah, I wouldn't be in the green then for sure. I think I was definitely, it was in the plan for that 2025 year to get a coach on,
Mm-hmm.
probably split costs with a set partner,
Yes.
make it a bit
Yeah.
more affordable, try to make that jump from 100 to top
Yeah.
50.
Yeah.
And then, if you're playing all 4 slams and all that, kind of money's decent, you
Yeah.
can, yeah, go spend money to make money in that sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Okay, so then then what happens?
Then what happens? So I played Australian Open. Obviously, didn't lose. I mean, lost first round, which was a bummer. But for me and my team, it was like we've made it finally. Like, we're here. We want
Yes.
to be.
Yeah.
Like, that was just the first step. Now, French, Wimbledon, US, everything in between. Like, finally, like, we've broken through. And that didn't last too long because basically off the court at Aussie and when a court I was playing on, got taken to anti-doping, which is normal. Did that, and then from there, basically got told that I was getting suspended.
That's crazy though. That's okay, but okay, what I read and what I've heard.
The Chinese whispers in China.
No, but like, okay, I remember I was playing last year Fed Cup or Billie Jean Cup in Cyprus, and I was feeling so bad. Like, I was playing back-to-back matches against girls top 200, and
Mm.
I in 3 days in a row in singles I had three top 200 wins, right?
Sure.
And at the time I was just starting my comeback, and I didn't even have a rank. I was like
Mm.
1,000 beating these girls. Are like, what's happening?
Yeah, yeah,
And my but my body was feeling it, right? And
for
then I was
sure.
playing doubles too, and then I had to get an IV,
Mm.
and I posted something about it on my Instagram story. And like, as soon as I posted it, one of my friends, he responded right away. He's like, Emma, delete that. You're not allowed. One guy just got suspended. I guess that was you.
Well, yeah, that was that guy.
You were the guy. Um, and but like, so so what happened? Do you want to like? Did you get an IV and you didn't know? Like like what happened? Or
So
if you, I mean, if you want to talk about
no, no,
this.
yeah, it's fine. So I'm gonna say it was my first and last IV that I'll ever get. I never even thought of it, but I had a big end of year in 2024, and I finished the year, and I was very gassed, but I kind of saw the top 100 window there, and I was like, I'm just gonna keep pushing, keep playing.
Yeah.
So I was playing good, but I was very fatigued. And I've had moments in my career and stuff where I've had really bad bouts of fatigue where I'm like in bed for like a week. Like, literally, my friend will call it like hibernation. I'll do it like twice a year where I just go, and I could feel it coming on. Obviously, so much stress, anxiety, and just like literally physical burnout. And actually, a good mate of mine just did an ultra marathon, and he went to a clinic and got an IV. And I was like, oh, like, you must be so cooked after the ultra marathon. He's like, yeah, I was, but I got this treatment and I feel great. I was like, oh wow. I was like, I never even thought of that. And he's like, yeah, like, just message them and say you're a pro tennis player. I'm sure they'll like hook you up for free. I was like, oh, sweet, no worries. And uh, finished the season. I messaged them. I was like, hey, I'm a professional tennis player. I'm playing the Australian Open, just manifesting it. I was like, I'm playing the Australian Open. Like, would you be keen for like a collaboration thing? And they were like, yep, 100%, come in. So 2 days after I got back from Japan, went in. Yeah, I told people I was getting an IV. No one said anything. Um, and yeah, got the treatment. Took a photo at the clinic. I said, thank you very much for looking after me, and that was the deal. Sweet. Um, and so I posted it, and it was just a story. It was an Instagram story.
Yes. Yes.
And then yeah, that got screenshotted, that photo, and it got sent to World Doping, and I got reported. Um, and yeah, so it's kind of, people have asked like, would you go back and change anything?
Yeah.
Like, did you miss something? And honestly, I never knew it was a rule. Didn't know
Yeah.
people did it. Um, Never even thought of doing it. Best I got from it was like a good night's sleep. That's literally all I got from it. But yeah, did it, and then I had like a couple of days off, and then I was straight back into preseason. Played Canberra, played Adelaide, played Aussie. Like, no,
Yeah.
there's no like I'm getting an email or
Yeah.
Wada's messaging me or anything. It's nothing. And then just first point of contact was right after my match.
Really?
Yeah, just
Like that.
two undercover agents kind of came to me after the match and were like, "We need to talk to you about an investigation." And I like literally just played AO my match, so like I was such a high to my body's kind of all over the place. And I was like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Is this to do with someone else?" And I'm like somehow involved.
Yeah.
And they're like, "No, it's you." And I'm like, "Do you have the right person?" And they're like, "Yeah, you're Thomas Fancutt." And I was like, "What is like? Can you tell me what this is about?" And they're like, "We can't tell you what it's about."
Oh my God.
And I'm like, what? Like we're like undercover, like under the the AO, like underbelly, and they're like, they like read me my rights, and it's like basically if I refuse to give up my phone, like I'm in trouble. I'm like, well, can I call someone? Like, no, you can't call anyone. I'm like,
Wow.
is this like a sting operation? Like I thought it was like on
Like in
Law
a
and
movie
Order
or
or
something.
something.
Yes.
I'm looking around, like no one's there. It's just workers and stuff. And then basically, yeah, I handed them my phone. It's like, well, when can I get back? And they were like, we can't tell you. But give us a number we can call, and then we'll let you know.
Hmm.
And then so I'm okay. And then they take my phone. They're like, it's probably going to take 2 to 4 hours. So I've gone from there. Like I literally had my tennis bag over my shoulder, and I'm walking back to my locker, going through the locker room area, like seeing all the players there. Drop my bag, and then I don't know if I shouted or not, but I was just all over the place. And then I like walked up. My family and friends are waiting in like the food reception area. Oh, so tough. And I like pull my mum aside and I tell her what's going on, and she like panics. And yeah, and then everything just unraveled. Was,
That's. I mean, it's just scary even to think about it, and then your life like changes. But then I read that it was gonna be 2 year, right?
yeah.
And
So we're going through it all. I was super compliant the whole time. I told they knew the clinic I went to, but like I said, you can have my records, because I basically wanted to really reiterate with them that I took nothing that was performance enhancing. It was purely just like vitamins, B, C, magnesium.
Yeah.
Because that's what I thought the rule was. I thought they were freaking out that I like it was doping. And I was like, no, like this is what I took, and they confirmed it. And then they were like going through it all, and they're trying to give it basically give me my sentence in a way. And they were like, "Oh, look, you're being compliant. You're a nice guy. It was obvious you didn't know you were breaking a rule, even though you should have. Um, yeah. Basically, the offer is 2 years, which is the maximum penalty." And they're like, "Do you accept that?" And I was like, "Absolutely not. I'm not accepting that." Like, they just annoyed me because they like butted me up. Oh, nice guy, this and that. And they're like,
and then like 2 years.
maximum penalty. And like, do you accept it? I was like, absolutely not. And then, thank God for me, the Players Association.
Okay.
I reached out to them, and they provided me with lawyer support.
Okay.
And then basically the lawyers just went. I was taken out of it, and then it was just lawyers went, "What's fair? What's this?" And it went for months.
Wow. And then that's crazy how your life like just changes without you expecting it, without anything. Like, so when everything like calmed down, when you like realize like, okay, this is it, I have to sit out for 10 months, like what was going on through your head then? Like, were you thinking like, okay, am I gonna play again? What does this mean for my career? Like what was going on through your head then?
Yeah, I'm gonna say like for like 4 to 6 weeks, I was kind of living in a bit of a delulu world where I thought I was gonna get dropped, because I took nothing performance enhancing, and like lawyers going back and forth, but they were going through all this paperwork, and so I was kind of still training, but they basically said that this was what annoyed me as well. They were like, there were 2 Brisbane challenges at home for me, and like I'm 107 in the world. No one knows what's going on in the tennis world, but like obviously everyone like who I want to tell knew. So there's 2 home tournaments. I'm 107. Like I live 20 minutes away from the tournament, and I don't play. And people are like, "Oh, you injured?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, my wrist is injured." He's not injured. And I was like, all these whispers are going around. So yeah, I was kind of thinking like maybe it's going to get dropped soon and I can play. So I was kind of still training, still staying fit and all that. And then it basically kind of came up as like, you're 100% getting suspended. It's just, I didn't know if it was 3 months or 6 months or whatever. So I pulled out of the Brisbane Challenges, went in and said that, yeah, I basically pulled out on site, and all these whispers going around that I was like match fixing. I was done for steroids, peptides, like
Yeah.
everything was going around,
Yeah.
as they do.
Of course.
And I wasn't commenting on them because I was like, it's just, if you know me, you'll ask me. Like, if you want to like gossip and rumor, like, go for it. But then I found out, and then that's when it was tough because I basically had to accept like a preliminary suspension, and that got released. So when that got released, it was like spreading, like first in Europe, it spread a bit. A friend of mine in Germany was like, dude, what's going on? Like, I've heard all this news. I'm like, what do you mean you've heard news? And he's like, you got done for an IV. I was like, I can't believe that's been leaked and like it's getting around and all that stuff. And then I was like, I don't know how to handle this. Kind of everyone around me was kind of, I didn't know what to do either. Like, kind of looking at me like I was a sick puppy, or like, they didn't know how to talk to me or like be positive or sincere, or I didn't know how to handle it either. And then I went to Bali for like 10 days, deleted social media for like a week, turned my phone off. And I was like, I need to process. They basically knew I was out for a certain amount of time. There was no confirmation yet, but I knew I was out for a certain amount of time, and I was just trying to comprehend everything. That was like the first step. And then I kind of came back and I was like, okay. So that was probably like March, and it was going through the stages, and that's when they offered me 2 years, and then it got kind of taken down to probably like a year's on the table. And then it was like, do I go to the tribunal? It was just like every 2 days I was talking to a lawyer, which was very new to me at that stage. I'm staying up late talking to lawyers in London. I'm going back and forth with WADA and ITIA, the ITIA mostly. And so then I wasn't hitting balls. Like, I was doing the gym, but I wasn't really hitting balls at that stage.
Yeah, because you were like, why would I even?
Yeah, it was that, and then
Why?
also the restrictions were brutal.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't hit with any pros. I couldn't
That's
beat any
crazy.
tennis centers that were insured by Tennis Australia, and
Really, that's strict.
the restrictions are brutal. Like, I couldn't hit any pros. They'd get in trouble. I'd get in trouble. I couldn't be at any tennis center or courts that were insured or under the Tennis Australia blanket.
Huh.
Like, absolute no. I couldn't go to any tennis events, whether it's a junior event, anything like that.
Wow, that's crazy. That's
So
literally like
my home, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, just totally. I wasn't allowed. Total detachment. People in the tennis world like didn't want to be associated with me or talk to me because they were like, I don't know if his phone's tapped or like all this kind of stuff. And it was a really lonely feeling.
Yeah.
And like I couldn't be home in a way. So yeah, it was definitely some tough moments for sure.
Today's video is sponsored by Lucky in Love. Gone are the days of ladies' golf and tennis apparel that all look the same. Lucky in Love is ushering in a new age. The high-end women's apparel brings options fit for the modern, expressive woman. Partake in the ultimate luxury and shop Lucky in Love for your new favorite fashion items for women, and use code EB20 to get 20% off your next purchase. I'm really sorry. I mean, you had to go through all that. Yeah, because you read something online and, you're like, or you hear, stories, different stories, but like how it actually felt for you as a person, I can't even imagine, because you've done nothing wrong. You really imagine like you actually have. Like you took some on purpose, something to, to feel like how would they treat you then if it was like that, for like just doing a mistake for not knowing the rules, basically, right? That's basically it. I'm really sorry, but so how, like, when did your life start like becoming normal after that, or somewhat normal?
Somewhat normal.
Somewhat normal. Yeah, a new normal, because I'm sure it wasn't. Yeah. When were you able to start? going to clubs or playing
Yeah,
with
well, I
people?
say it was about maybe June, or I'm gonna say yeah, June, where it became official that like I agreed on the 10 months, which was basically a year because 2 months of processing and back and forth wasn't counted.
Okay,
So it was
okay,
a year from basically the day I played my Aussie match.
okay,
And once I had that kind of actual time frame, like I was back Jan 18 or something.
okay.
I was like, once I had that, I was like, okay, like time to get my life together. I couldn't be at any tennis centers or anything until November 18.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so like June 1st. And I'm
Oh
like,
my
okay, so
God.
for 5 months, I can't be at tennis things. But obviously, it's like, it's all I know. Like, I'm
Yeah,
like, I can make some
yeah,
money coaching and all that.
yeah.
And then I actually found a loophole
Okay,
that was approved by the RTIA,
okay,
that I was some courts in Brisbane that a friend of mine had an academy in Brisbane, 2 courts that were at a gym. And the gym
okay.
insured the courts. And
Oh,
none of
I
the kids
see.
were pros. So he was like, I want you here. You'll be a great asset. I was like, oh, I'd love to, but I need confirmation. Like, I'm so skitsy about people like ratting me out or anything. So I went to RTA and they were like, didn't really give me a yes, but they're like, if you think it fits these guidelines, which it did, you can do it. And I was like, okay, well, I know it does. So went for it. And I actually, yeah, to be honest, I actually loved it. I was coaching like 25 to 30 hours a week,
Okay.
coaching kids like 11 to 15, 16 who want to be good players. They want to go to
Mm-hmm.
college, want to go potentially go pro. And I hadn't really hit for like a few months. And the guy who runs it, a really good mate, like he was so supportive of me and could tell like, there'd be moments where I almost like zone out. And there were days where I'd forget what was going on in my life, and then I would remember, and like almost like I'd sink into my brain. I was like, I can't believe like I'm fit, I'm healthy, I'm playing, like I was playing good tennis, and I just like I'm handcuffed. I can't even go to these places. And also I think because a massive career goal of mine has been to play Wimbledon,
Okay.
and I was like in a way guaranteed to play it last year
Yeah.
with my trajectory. So when that hit, that was probably the lowest I'd felt the entire year.
Yeah.
So like it was almost like I had to hit rock bottom to like build myself up, because I
Yeah.
was kind of like going through it all, but I was processing it, but I felt like it hadn't completely made me hit rock bottom yet. And then Wimbledon started, and I remember just like falling to pieces like internally. And I actually went to the doctor because I like I couldn't. I was like struggling. I was actually no, I was sleeping a lot. I was always tired. Like I felt like I had no energy ever. I'm like, oh, I don't know what's going on. Maybe my bloods are up. So I went to the doctor and I was like, I need a blood check. Maybe something has to be wrong because I'm just fatigued all the time. And then came back, the bloods were like perfect. And she like kind of like comes closer to me and she's like, you're showing signs of depression. And I was like, oh, I was like, that's what this is. I was like, oh, okay. Wow. I was like, well, that makes sense. And then kind of once I was there, then I worked back, and then being in that tennis environment with kids who want to be good and a supportive coach, I just kind of came back coaching, and I was really enjoying it. And then I was kind of like, you know what, like, because for a lot of months I didn't want to come back. I was just thinking, okay, I'm going to go into coaching next year once my band's up, and got a good resume. That's the next life, next chapter. And then I was kind of hitting with kids and stuff, and like serving. They think it's amazing. You can serve 200 plus and hit forehands, and they're like 12, 13. And I was like, no, I think like I actually like do still love this sport, and I was world class. I think I can be world class still. Um, and then I'm doing the work, and I'm like, and I'm in the gym. Like, that's one thing I was really proud of myself, is that I was so good in the gym. Like, even from when everything started, like I was so consistent all the time, did all the right things, and then I was like, I think I can come back and I can do this thing, do it again. And I was like, I'm just going to treat this now like a 6-month training block. Like, when have I ever had a 6-month training block where I can like really focus on fitness, my technique, and just get all my stuff in a line?
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of once that was streamlined, I did that. And then once the ban was over, November 18, I went back to my training base on the Gold Coast and went full-time training.
Yeah. Oh my God, you said so much that I'm like,
yeah, sorry.
No, I love it. It's great because I mean there is so much that has happened, and like you said, because everything is just like a part of your story, and it's shaping you into the person you are now and who you're becoming. And I mean, I can relate a lot. I mean, obviously, it's a lot different too, but like a lot of things, are very similar. But no, you're talking about the depression stuff and hitting the rock bottom. I mean, like it's how did you get out of it? You said you were surrounded by the right people, but
Mm.
were you ever put on medication or no?
No, I didn't go on medication. Once, like the doctor made it very clear to me that
Mm-hmm.
I was showing all these kind of symptoms and stuff, and everything fit a certain criteria
Yeah.
of that stuff. Basically, I told like my close mates and my sister and my mom what was going on,
Yeah.
and so they were very supportive, like check up on me a lot. I was never like that bad,
Yeah.
but I was pretty like sad all the time. Like almost, I feel like I became aware of kind of like male depression as almost just being really quiet
Mm-hmm.
and just like going about your day. And that's kind of what I was doing. I was just kind of going about my days and almost kind of like I go to bed at night and I was kind of like just wish the day would be over quicker.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to count days until I could actually be back and play again
Yeah.
or be free or like untainted or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, big thing with me was yeah, trying to be in a lot of contact with my friends and family, a lot of phone calls, like to and from work. I'd call someone, um, and then I'd journal a lot, just trying to get all the noise out of my head. Always been big into journaling, and then also I was just like, I like so lucky to live in Australia in the Gold Coast in Brisbane. So beautiful place, and I was trying to attach like dopamine responses to nature. So I was trying to be in
Mm.
nature as much as I could, like sunrises, and yeah, and that was able to kind of build it up. And I just had a great community around me who were like super supportive, and like that meant the world to me.
Yeah.
And yeah,
No, that's so important because when I was going through it, it was my last year of college. But exactly what you were describing, it was, I'm a very social person and always have a lot of energy and always doing a lot. And then it like hit me like that. It was like I was just down all the time, like you said,
mm,
but like no reason, like,
mm,
and no energy. Come to practice, like no energy. And I did all the blood work and everything. They were like, okay, and then anyways went. But then I was diagnosed with major depression,
oh wow,
not mild, which was so strange. I was like 23.
yeah,
Like
wow,
like you had a reason. I didn't really have a reason. Everything was great in my life. So
mm-hmm.
I couldn't like comprehend what was
Mm,
going on. And I really didn't have the support back then, or like I don't know, it was just like such a weird time. And they put me on medication. That's why I
okay,
was
yeah,
asking.
yeah, yeah,
And I mean, now we talk openly about all of this. Before it was like, I could not. But and then for years I was on medication
wow,
for years.
kind of like numbs you a bit,
Yes,
yeah,
you literally come to the point where you feel so numb. And that's when I was like, okay, I don't want to live like this.
mm,
I said, I'd rather be sad all the time than feel numb.
yeah,
But
then
then I'm like, mm, I don't know. But what you're saying, like about journaling, like digging deep with yourself, like I spent this whole time. I mean, it's going to be now 3 years. I'm not on any medication, and I was for
wow,
almost 10
congrats, that's
years.
good.
Thanks. But it's been a lot of work.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
It's a lot of work, like you said, like what you were talking about sunrise. I live in Florida. So it's like
Mm,
I would, like, for 2 months straight, I would go every morning on the beach for the
yeah,
sunrise,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Journal, like dig deep within myself, uh, to find out why I'm feeling like
like the
that.
root of the cause, not like
Yes,
a band-aid solution of medication
correct.
or
And
external stuff. It's
yes,
like actually finding, yeah, the root of the cause almost your own way.
and this is what I also talk a lot about lately, more. But obviously, like, I'm not saying to people don't get on medication,
Yeah,
like if your
yeah,
doctor is telling you, yes, obviously, but ultimately you really have to figure it out with yourself. You're the only one that can help
yeah,
yourself.
yeah,
Yes, the support system is important, and obviously having the right people, but like you have to do a lot of inner work to get there. And then once you get there, like you're better, then it's still constant work on yourself.
For sure.
Do
For
you
sure.
agree? Do
I
you
100
still journal
Yeah,
now?
I'm journaling every day.
Yeah.
I mean, now I'm trying to get into being way more consistent with kind of gratitude.
Okay.
That's something I kind of duck in and out of.
Yes.
But just
Yeah.
kind of like the brain dump journal and like planning
Mm-hmm.
my day, I'm super consistent with that.
Okay.
And yeah, that was something. There's a habit before everything went down, which was a habit that really helped me
Mm-hmm.
kind of, you know, find out like, yeah, because you're trying like you write down your insecurities, you write
Yeah.
down all the bad stuff that you think's happening. Because yeah, you just like when I was in it, I thought it was like spotlight. I thought like
Mm-hmm.
everyone knew what was going on. When I was like, oh, I'll go to the grocery store and like that person, like I was like on the news in Australia, and like that person knows I'm like I'm starting for doping or whatever. But then it was funny, like when I kind of came back in November, back training at my training base, there were kids who were like, oh, like where you been? Like, are you been injured? They just had no idea, and I was like, wow, it's like kind of like humbling because I just thought at the
Yeah.
time I just thought everyone
The
knew,
whole world. Yeah.
like everyone knew I had this like little rain cloud around me
Yes.
or something.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like then you think about your self-worth, or like you think like what they're gonna think about you as a person, or like probably all of these things in your head are going around where actually it's not as bad
Yeah, it's not as
as
bad. It's, obviously what you're feeling is valid, but
yeah.
it's. I saw this quote the other day. It was like, when you're winning, you're not as good as you think you are, and when you're losing, you're not as bad as you think you are.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
feel like that kind of relates to, yeah, like it's so easy to make it seem worse and worse and worse when you're in that little cloud. But
Yeah.
it's not as bad.
Yeah. But now you're out here thriving in China and not getting into
Yeah,
15K.
literally, I'm documenting coming back, and I'm literally on the ground floor. Like I was saying to you before, like 4 tournaments ago, I was playing Aussie Open,
Yeah.
and now I'm rocking out to a 15K, and I'm fifth alternate in singles, and I'm two alternate in doubles, and I'm here as a tourist. Like,
Exploring Manshan.
yeah, like my mom was like, what's happened? Like I was like, I've never experienced this. Like I've had a point since I was 18 or 19. I've never not gotten into a 15K that I traveled to. Like this like maybe at 100K if I gamble, or if
Yes.
you gamble at a
Yes.
tour event.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is a calculated gamble. It didn't pay off, but
Mm-hmm.
I took it because it was a smart
Yes.
play.
Yeah.
This one was just like I said to you before, like, it didn't even enter my consciousness that when I
That this
flew
is a
here for a 15,
possibility.
I wouldn't get in.
I know.
So it's been humbling. It's been, but I try and not get too down. Like I've got a good mate here that we're playing doubles
Mm-hmm.
with. Well, tried to. So I'm just I'm training 2-3 hours a day. Like I'm in the gym, and the centers here is great,
Yeah, it is.
and
It's
it's
great.
so
Yeah.
cheap here.
Yes.
Hotel's cheap, food's great,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
cheap. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, just trying to turn the mindset into it's a
Mm-hmm.
training week for next week because I know I'm in for
Exactly.
singles next week.
Let's go.
So we'll take that.
Um, yeah, China is. This is my first time playing a tournament in China, but it's so cheap.
So cheap.
So cheap. Like
Yeah.
it's
What's this, like 20 US a night?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
nothing plus the food. I
And
mean,
it's good too.
it's like
Yeah, my lunch before was 4 US.
yes.
It's like a full chicken bowl with egg and rice.
And like the Uber or Didi to the
Yeah, one
like
US, 10 minute
one.
drive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally one. But also my prize money was $11.
Yeah, I saw that. It's brutal.
Yeah, but how is this possible though? I was trying to think about it. Did he make a mistake maybe?
Wait, what?
It's a 50K
Yeah.
qualies first round singles. At least like $50. $11? I've never had $11 prize money.
Yeah, did you break a racket or something, or?
No.
Yeah,
But I
did I?
remember.
No, that has to be a mistake. That seems ridiculous. Were you getting taxed 85%?
No. I don't know. It's so weird.
Was there a previous fine or something?
No, there wasn't. There wasn't. I checked the prize money sheet and it doesn't say, it just took the entry fee off.
Oh yeah, entry fee is what, 40 US?
Yeah.
Still.
And then it was like 10 US tax. So that's 50 US. So it means that it was $66.
That's brutal.
Oh my God. Okay. Because
The realities of
the
tour.
realities, yeah, and I was first alternate out in doubles, and
Yeah, brutal.
the girl that I was supposed to play with, she was using her protected 260.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
390 at a 50. Anyways,
Yeah.
everything happens for a reason, right?
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, we wouldn't be doing this podcast.
Exactly.
So there you go.
Exactly.
Okay, so how did you decide to start your documenting stuff on social media? Like, where did that idea come from?
Yeah, so kind of once I came to the decision that I was going to come play again, it was probably like July, August, and I'm telling all these kids because they're asking me questions like, "What was this like?" and this tournament, playing here, playing there, and I'm telling them these stories, and they're like looking at me like it's pure gold. Like I'm saying, "Oh, like playing in Croatia and playing in Germany, club tennis Germany, and playing in the States and like, bouncing around countries and all this stuff. Like that's amazing." I was like, "Oh yeah, cool." I tell them stories and just tell they're loving it. And then also just being detached from the tennis bubble in my regular life away from work. I was around people and they're like, "Oh yeah, what's it been like?" and all that. And also what I was just explaining what's going to happen with my comeback. And I was like, "Yeah, and I'm probably going to start in like Egypt or Tunisia because they have tournaments all year round." And they're like, "What do you mean you're going to Egypt to play pro events?" But because like when you're in the tennis bubble, it's just normal.
It's a normal.
It's like the bases are Turkey,
yeah,
Egypt, Tunisia. It's just
yeah,
entry level stuff. But they're like, what, you play next to the pyramid? Like what's going on? I'm like, yeah, I kind of am in a way. And I was like, and they're like, what do you mean? Like 51 weeks a year? And I'm like explaining all this like stuff as for us is just tedious. Like it is what it is. And I was like thinking about it, I was like, oh, maybe I guess they were really kind of like there's the tennis influencers who like don't really play tennis and they're doing all that stuff and they show that side of it. But then I was like, there's no one really player wise who's kind of I don't know, in a way normal for a normal person and then also playing the sport that these people that could be like, oh, look at this person on Instagram, or look at this person, look at this person's YouTube. And I was like, you know what, like it could be cool if I just played a Grand Slam. It could be cool, and I know I'm like good enough to get back there. It'd be cool if I started from like the ground and just documented it from like 15s to Charlie's to tour events to slams. I was like, it'd be really cool. We could do that for a year. I was thinking about it, and I was telling my family, and they're like, "You should." I was like, "Oh, I'm not good with editing. I don't really like that content stuff. Like, I'm actually kind of naturally a bit of an introvert. Like, I can talk, but like, I kind of like just chilling. And then when you have those weeks where you lose, like it's hard, like being loud on social media and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was sitting on it, and then I was like, you know what? Like, the more kids that were like talking and stuff, I was like, you know what? I was really worried about my image being tainted because I was just chucked under this blanket, like this umbrella of anti-doping.
Yeah.
Like people were like, "Oh, he got done for doping. He got done for doping." That's all I heard. And I was like, I had an IV, I had water, and
basically,
it was like being told I was a murderer when I just like shoplifted.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Like on
exactly.
accident. Like, that's what it was. Just
no, that's literally
just
like that.
blanket
Yes.
term.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I can do this content. I can show what the grind's like, what the actual grind is like, not like that Netflix series that was on the tennis, which was awful. I was like, man, I can actually show it's like the players are so good. There's some personalities, like these just the stuff like even this week, like this random unreal facility in the middle of Manshan, China. Like what do you mean?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna do it. And then I made the first video. It probably took me like 2 hours of takes to make this video. And I was sitting on it for so long. And one of my best mates' wives, I was talking to her, and I was like, she wasn't on social media. She's like, just post it. And I was like, you don't understand. Like once I click press on this, it's almost like I have to do it. And like everyone's gonna like talk, like in the tennis bubble's gonna talk about it. And I was like, screw it. Posted it, and then it got received really well. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna post every day for a month. I'm just gonna do it like exposure therapy. I'm just gonna post it all like and just see what happens. So I post every day and like felt so cringy.
I know.
I was like, I feel like such a dork. Just yapping in front of a camera. Like no, I was like, people are gonna unfollow me. Like, like people are gonna think I'm And I was going through all this stuff. My sister was very supportive. Said, no, let's do it. Like it's fine. It's good. It's interesting. Did it, and then my follower count went up. Like people were messaging me, and then even at my training base where I am, I feel like all these kids when they see like top pro players, they're like nervous to kind of talk.
Yeah.
Like we're not just like a human. And like we're once them. And then when I like was posting all this content and they were all following me, they would come up to me like in the gym and when I was walking to training. Oh, hey man, like I love your content. Like I love your videos. Like it's so cool. I was like, wow, like yeah, talking to them, giving them time as I normally would. And it's like this invisible wall was like taken down because of the content, which I thought was amazing. And they're like, oh, we're following it. Like we love like how you're training and all this kind of stuff and your outlook. And parents come up to me being like, um, we want our tennis parents, we want our kids to have role models and like what you're doing and how you are. Like it's such a good example for our kids, which I thought was like such a good compliment. And I was like, because I was nervous about it all, and I was like, you know what? This is the instant feedback. I was like, I think there's some value in this, and yeah, and then I just kind of leaned into it, and it's fun. It's fun, but like it's challenging because I don't want my content to get repetitive. I don't want to do boohoo. Like I want to be real, and then yeah, so it's kind of evolving. I've been doing it now for maybe 2.5 months, 2 months, so it's still pretty fresh.
And just Instagram or you're on YouTube?
I post the exact same thing on Instagram and TikTok.
And TikTok. So no YouTube, no long form?
I haven't got into that yet because and it's actually funny with the content. So I'm really bad with the content stuff. Like I feel like my content's so lazy.
I mean, it's just plain. It's just you talking.
Yeah, it's just me talking in front of a camera and like it's like cut. I just cut the front, cut the back. I chuck like a crappy screenshot over the middle of it. I'm like, I'm not gonna try. Like I'm just gonna post.
I mean, it's just you're not an editor.
No. Like I'm not gonna do that. I'm like, as you know, like it's hard enough being a pro tennis player.
Yes.
Like everything that goes into being good at the sport, it takes up everything. So I was like, if I feel like my editing is, or like how I go with the content is cutting into my gym time or my training time or my sleep or recovery, I'm not going to do it.
No.
So I was like, I have to come up with something where it's like 10 to 30 minutes a day max.
Yeah.
And it's just like cut. And then I post it and I forget. It's just post and ghost.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's what I'm doing. But I've had people come up to me being like, oh, it's so real and authentic. And like, it's no one's doing what you're doing. I've had people message me being like, they like from other sports being like, I follow you just because I want to copy how you do your content. It's so niche. You have a real niche. I'm like if my niche is being lazy, then great. And then one person was like, I know your content isn't AI. I was like, is that a compliment? I was like, I'll take it. But yeah, it's been funny. It's been different world.
No, but that's I mean, ultimately, you have to like ask yourself, like, why? Like, what's your goal? Your goal is, I mean, what's your goal with it? What inspires you and why you keep doing it is because you see those kids, you see the people that you're actually making an impact on their lives. Then you forget about the cringe part, right? Like you get over it. I've been doing it now for almost 3 years.
Yeah. And your following is huge.
Yes, and I started tennis with Emma 5 years ago, and I remember, and I just saw like you got memory, like I got my first 10K. I was so happy, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, like I know this sounds so cheesy, but like really the impact we do make on others' lives. Like with me, with my comeback story, I'm a single mom, 2 boys, doing this grind of ITF tour, making $11 here.
Super inspiring.
Like I am doing it and I am documenting it also when my kids are old enough to see what I've done, right?
It's so sick.
But how many people, honestly, throughout this journey, how many messages I've gotten, like I've changed their lives. Like literally, I haven't that on tough days that gives me the strength to keep going. No. You build this community online.
You don't realize the impact.
You really don't. And half of those that don't even like write you, that are, scared to write you because they think we're, but at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know. I think the impact that we do by posting and being vulnerable, what I asked you before, like, okay, how vulnerable you want to be? And you're like, well, I'm an open book, which is great. And that's why I asked you to also come on the podcast, because I don't just like interview just like random players, because I think your story is powerful, and I like how you're putting yourself out there and how you're just sharing the real stuff. No editing, no this. Like for me, it became over time like I am making money now out of it,
Mm.
right? And I'm not making money at the tennis tournament, so I need to find ways also how to make
$11.
money.
Yeah,
I mean, if I lived in China, maybe it would
yeah,
be fine.
yeah.
But living in America, it's a little more expensive.
Mm.
Um, it's like it is, it has opened so many opportunities for me,
Yeah.
so many doors. It's great. But I don't know how to edit. I hate it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, I don't like when people ask, well, you're the content creator, you know how to do this. I'm like, I don't. I do have some people that do help me, like with editing now that I can also
Yeah.
afford. And it's a lot of work, but like you said, I also don't. I make sure I prioritize what's important.
Yeah, yeah. I have what I have, but you got like kids, and
It's a
I
lot.
couldn't even
It's a
imagine.
lot.
It's hard enough taking care of myself. I couldn't imagine. Like, I don't know how you do it.
It's I don't know sometimes either. People ask me that, and it's like I have this awful guilt,
Okay.
like that I'm not good enough here. I don't put enough work in my content. I don't put enough work in training. I don't put enough work in coaching, because I also coach when I'm home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't put enough time for my kids. I don't have time for my friends, for my
Yeah,
family.
spread too thin. Yeah, yeah,
Then it's like you get overwhelmed, and it's like, and then I'm like, okay, I'm like, calm down, like just be kinder to yourself. You're
yeah.
doing the best that you can with the resources and with everything that's going on. So it's like, okay, like you're fine. And I know I'm not going to play forever. Like, okay, this tennis, being away from my kids, that's the hardest part.
Oh, couldn't imagine.
It's it's the worst, but also, yeah, that's another story. I don't want to talk
It's
about
another
it either.
podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
um but yeah, okay, so you are now, can you use your protected ranking? Is there protected ranking when you're
So I asked for it last year, and they said no because of my
really?
offense. But they actually released in the ATP Tour Weekly last week that if you got a provisional suspension over 6 months, and it was deemed as no fault or negligence,
Okay.
you are like could get a protected ranking. So I'm in the process now of seeing if I'm eligible.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
they basically, I was deemed to have some fault or negligence because I should have known the rule,
Okay.
basically. So my kind of argument is that I am at the absolute lowest scale of fault or
Mm.
negligence, and just see if I'm.
Oh my God. I really hope
I mean, if
so.
I can, next, like the 2 weeks time, have a 107 protected ranking, I'll be absolutely thrilled playing Challies. But I'm not going to bank on that.
Okay.
But in a perfect world, yeah, that could potentially go through.
But okay, if it doesn't, what's your plan
If it
from now
doesn't, right now I'm 1240 in doubles, and I think I'm like 1700 in singles.
on? And you got that by, did you?
So yeah, I played two 25Ks at home in Australia and Tasmania, and I think I was 50 alternate for Qs for the first one, and luckily got in. Not everyone signed in, and got through Qs and won my first round. So I got a point first week, which was like best case scenario. And then got a wild card, luckily, into doubles with an Australian guy. We made semis. So I was like, oh my God, first time back, I've gotten ranking in both singles and doubles. It's like best case scenario. And then next week, I got a wild card in qualies. Qualied, won another round. And then I doubles, made semis again.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, great. And then went to New Zealand, lost first round singles, qualied, lost first round singles, and then made semis of doubles there. And then, but because of Indian Wells, Miami, and they freeze the ranking, like 2 week period, my Tassie points didn't come on.
Oh, okay.
So I technically was, 100 alternate at these events for last week. So I couldn't play anything. So I was training in New Zealand at my mate's place. And then my first points came on for this week. So I rocked up China thinking I thought singles was a gamble because I was like 40 out and there was a tournament here the week before, so like long shot. But I was like doubles, I'll get it, and then yeah,
And then you didn't, but
yeah.
you're in for sure next week.
I'm in for sure for singles next week. I don't think doubles because doubles will probably be even stronger.
Okay.
So won't be in for doubles, but I'm in for singles, and then there's a 25K again in the same venue.
Yeah.
And then also there's a challenger in China. So it's like,
Okay.
but then the Japanese challenger ends. So like those guys might funnel into these
Okay.
two events. So because my doubles partner, who we've agreed to play the whole year together to try and have a swing at it, and we're basically going to do the preliminary entry next Tuesday.
Okay.
And if we're in for that third event, we'll stay. But if not, we're going to pivot and probably go to Europe or Egypt. Yeah, and just
Egypt grind.
and just bypass that whole conflict that's going on in the middle of the world right
Yes,
now.
yeah, like nothing is happening.
Yeah.
I saw a reel like how tennis players like just literally like there's like so much going on in the world and tennis players, keep going like nothing's
literally,
happening.
like that challenger in Dubai
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, the debris hit like an oil
Yeah.
tanker like
Yeah.
5 k's from the hotel. And it's like, oh, you should just keep playing. It's
Yeah.
like
It's
it
like,
really was hitting like a tennis ball, and we're
imagine.
chucked in war zones. It's like playing for crumbs.
Oh my God. Yeah. Tennis players,
Tennis
life,
players, you gotta be a bit mad.
Yeah. I mean, you have to.
Yeah, you have to be playing a solo sport. You'd be a bit mad.
Yeah, you have to a little bit at least. Um, so how does it feel playing again? Like, do you feel like your level is there? I mean, it's not like you forgot how to play tennis, but you know what I mean, like not competing for a full year.
Yeah.
Like, do you still feel as confident, or you're kind of like when you're on courts, like, yeah, how do you feel?
So yeah, coming back, it's like you got that headspace. You're like, I can play well. Like I'm a certain level, but I wasn't sure. I didn't play a competitive singles match for 14 months, and I played like a local money tournament, and I won that. I was playing like bottom level, like open tournament. Won that, and then I went and played a bigger tournament in Brisbane, and there were 3 guys who were pro ranked, like 900, 1200. And I was like, okay, it's gonna be a good test. Let's see where I'm at. And then I won that. I beat the guy who was 900 in the final. I was like, okay, shit, like I'm probably inside like 900 level. That's actually surprising. Cool. And then I went to and played a UTR, and I won that. Beat another guy who was like 1,000, 1,100. I was like, okay, like beating these guys like fairly comfortable. I'm at a certain level. That's good. And I was also training with a few guys who were like 400, 300. Trained with Tomic, who was like 180. So I was like losing Atomic in practice, and I was like trading sets with guys 300. I was like, okay, wow, like I'm actually probably playing pretty good. I mean, it's practice, but like I had a pretty good gauge. Like, okay, sweet. And then I've come back, but it's so different. Like playing those 25Ks in Oz, because the last 25K I played in Oz, I won it, and like I was winning doubles pretty routinely at these tournaments. So I was so excited to be playing again. Like just, I was almost like smiling, regripping my racket before matches, like just being in the environment. I was like, wow, this is what I've wanted for months, like to be back in this competitive environment, getting that, that adrenaline, that rush, like everything that you miss.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I was in it, and then I won a couple of tight matches in qualies. I was like, okay, like I'm loving it being out here, but I'm like, wow, like why am I like making this close? And then yeah, I got my point, which I was stoked about. But then it's crazy how funny like your perspective can change, because I was just so excited just to be there. I didn't care who I played. I was like, I just want to play, like feel those feelings. But then, like if you told me before I went to the Aussie tournaments that I would leave, with 2 singles points and like whatever doubles points, if you told me that, I'd been stoked. But leaving Tasmania, I was almost like disappointed, because my brain so quickly changed to, I could make final here. Like I should win this tournament. Like, I've won these tournaments, and like that's kind of something I've been fighting with. Is so excited to be back doing everything, like the gym grind, the training, the playing matches. But then like that brain that knows what I was, it's like that internal conflict has been something I've really been struggling with. Because yeah, it's just been like enjoyment to expectation in a way. Um, yeah,
Is that where the gratitude comes in?
that's why I'm trying to like
Yes,
implement it
yes,
because yeah, like just writing it each morning, like I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to play again.
yes.
I'm like so grateful to feel these emotions again.
Yeah.
So I remember asking a guy who retired when I was like, it's been years ago. He just retired, and I was like, "What's it like retiring from tennis? Like, what's the life after tennis like?" And he was telling me stuff. I was like, "Great in this regard," but he said, "The one thing I miss is you don't get the same rush in regular life as you do in tennis. Like that night before a match, that win where everyone's celebrating with you and like the stress and everything, like you don't actually get that in regular life in a sense." And I was like, okay, I didn't really think anything of it. But having experienced it last year, I was like, it's kind of true. Like you kind of take it for granted just that night before anxiousness, like
The morning off.
yeah, like
The-
the
yes,
cement in your stomach, the
yes,
butterfly
yes.
feeling,
Yeah,
the yeah, it's we get it like every week in a way.
we do. And it's interesting how you said that, like, of like when I started my comeback too, I was so excited, right? And
Mm.
you're like so happy with the smallest things, right?
Mm.
But once you're in it,
Yeah.
in the week in, week out, you slowly start to lose that, like the enjoyment and like why you're actually doing it. And you have to like kind of learn how to like control your thoughts and feelings without getting into that hole of just like thinking about the results. Or
Mm.
but it's easier said than done. I was just talking to somebody about that the other day. I'm like, okay, now I'm in my comeback journey, right? It's been now almost 2 years that I'm playing pro tournaments, and I'm 480, right? So I'm like, I tell myself if by the end of the year I'm not top 300, I stop, right? But
Mm.
then there are people that tell me like, don't put the limit, like
Mm.
don't do it, just go and play and
It's true.
enjoy.
Yeah.
And it's true. Like I agree with that. You shouldn't like set like, okay, if by this time I don't do this, I stop. But then I'm like, I gotta be realistic too. But what does it mean being really realistic?
Yeah.
Like what does it mean?
Mm.
Like when do you know you're really truly done and you can't anymore? Well, I stopped really young. I was 24, 460 singles, 140 doubles,
Oh.
and just stopped. And I had that normal life, really. Like, but I tried to fill that void of not playing with like so many things, right? I was running half marathons. I was
Yeah.
freaking
Yeah.
Pilates instructor. I was working 10 hours a day on the court. I had kids back to back, like, but I was still like working until I was like 39 weeks pregnant. I was on
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
court
Yeah.
teaching, like it's like you're trying to find it through different, but you can't.
Mm.
But I also think you can do it later once you close that chapter on your own, once
Mm.
you know you're done.
Yeah.
Does that make
You
sense?
can
Like,
close the book on your own terms.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
The no
haven't.
regrets kind of thing. Yeah.
Exactly. So I haven't. So why people ask me like, why are you doing this again? You're restarting 31, like two kids, like it's crazy. Like I went from making money to not making money,
Mm.
Um, but it's more than that. It's personally with myself. I need to close that chapter on my own terms
Mm.
and be done so I can move on with my life, with my next chapter
Yeah.
and give my best.
100%.
I could never do it.
Yep.
And oh my God, it's the worst feeling. And that's another thing with my story. It's like I just don't want to be like 50 and regret that didn't give myself a shot at 30.
100%.
I mean, we're never gonna be this age again, and
Yeah.
and then going back to gratitude, being grateful, and in this grind, like how am I grateful now in this, being in China? I miss my kids, middle of nowhere. I was feeling sick for like 3 days straight.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
you know, but then you have to, you know, journal, keep reminding yourself why.
It's a daily practice.
It's a daily practice.
Yeah. It just has to become a daily routine, like a morning coffee.
Yes.
Because like a good friend of mine, he is in the whole mental health space, and his big thing is spending 1% of your day on mental health, and so it's 14 minutes a day.
Oh wow.
So just like 10-minute meditation, 4-minute gratitude. And I just started doing that, and it's literally 1% of your day.
That's so interesting. I've never heard of that 1%.
Just
it's literally 14
minutes.
1% of your day.
Yeah.
Everybody can do it.
Yeah, it's so simple, but I've been doing it for like a year and a bit now. Heavy influence from him, and
I love that.
14 minutes. You set a timer, 14 minutes goes pretty quick.
Yeah, actually. I can't meditate though. I do journal. I can journal for 14 minutes, and that's kind of meditation for me.
Yeah.
Everybody you have to find your way.
It's like
what works
grounds
for you. Yes. Yeah. Like for me, also going on a run or on a walk. And here it's so nice out there.
So pretty. Yeah, your view.
Yes.
Ridiculous.
It's very nice. Okay. I don't know how many. I think we've talked for like an hour. And I feel like we can talk more, but most of the questions that I wanted to ask you, we went through it. But let's just finish off with 5 like quick questions.
Love it.
Okay, but they're not like funny or fun, or it's like more like deeper questions.
Serious.
Yeah, so serious. Okay, let's do that and then end with that. And
sounds good.
Okay. One word to describe your comeback.
Whoa. I'm going to say resilience.
Okay. Hardest part of starting over.
Fitness.
Okay, I agree. What keeps you going right now?
Just like my kind of ambitions and goals for tennis, and what, like you're saying, what I want to tick off or try and tick off, that I can close the book and I can look back on my career and my life and tell my kids and everything that I was proud of, and I put everything into it. But and then also just kind of like that little kid in me that went to sleep with an ATP tour shirt on, and because my family were all pro players, that wore the Wimbledon hat when I was 6 years old, like that kind of child ambition.
Yeah,
big drive.
That 6-year-old would be proud, and like we talked about the no regrets part, like just literally leaving it all out there.
I mean, it's like when you finish a match, if you can look yourself in the mirror and be like, hey, look, I lost this match, but did I try my absolute best? Did I prepare well? Did I try everything on court? If that's the case, you look yourself in the mirror and be like, I'm good with that. Move on.
That's why I always say, when people ask me, like what your goal for the matches, or what, and there's so many matches that I played, and it's like 4-hour matches, and people are like, why are you playing so long? I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, I always say that I want to walk off that court knowing that I gave it all for every point, no matter the score. Like you said, I can look myself in the mirror and know, like, I prepared right, that, and what was in my control, I did it. But
100%.
But then doing that week in, week out, it takes a lot.
A lot of discipline.
A lot. One word for this phase of your life.
Whoa.
So tough.
That's tough.
Because
the word that kind of mind is like transformative.
Okay.
Because I think I'm a better and more mature person from what I went through last year.
Yeah.
So I think my personal development was big time last year, but I'm not the player yet that I was. So dealing kind of with my new reality currently, so it's almost like transformative in a way, because I'm transforming how I see myself maybe on the court or as a person as well.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm going to the same places in a way, but I feel like I'm a new person.
Yeah.
So kind of navigating that right now.
No, I think that's a perfect word. And I was just thinking about that, about you and your story, because yeah, maybe right now in your life, you're not where you thought you would be, like tennis wise,
Mm.
but I don't think, based on everything that I've heard, I don't think you would have grown as much as a person and done all that, or maybe you would have, I don't know, but
You know?
you don't know, and you're not going to question yourself, but you've probably done so much work, and you're just looking at everything from a different perspective. And I think, from my perspective, like, you have to look at it as a positive, and that it happened for a reason. And
Yeah.
as cheesy as it sounds, it's really true. It's you're it's shaping you really into, I think, something bigger.
It's funny. I've had some people say that what happened to me is probably could be the best thing that's ever happened to me. And at first I'm like, let's not go that far. Like that's but like yeah, I mean, I would never done content really, and I wouldn't have gone through a lot of personal challenges and development and like really done the internal work. So yeah, I mean, just like coming back, like and doing the content and all that, like it's changed my life. Like I've
Yeah,
had such opportunities and
yeah,
I've met a lot of people through it. So yeah, you look at that glass half full mentality. It's
yes,
cheesy, but
yes, but it's
everything
true.
does happen for a reason.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I mean, you're gonna make it. How do I say this? I have a saying in Bosnian in my language.
The
Um,
inner translators going
yeah, it's
on.
so bad. Sometimes you want to translate like the exact, and it's like, nope. Um, like, it's gonna be as good as you make it.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you depends what you get out of it, and I think so far you're getting the most out of it,
Mm.
and
I,
it's gonna get better
I like to
from
think
here.
so. Yeah, it's gonna get better. I'm not gonna miss out on 15Ks anymore.
Yes.
Gosh.
Okay. Biggest lesson you've
Biggest
learned.
lesson. I'd say the biggest lesson has been just know the people around you, and if they're good, appreciate them. And if they're kind of like transactional, like kind of lose them. That was one thing that really shone bright last year for me, is that I was so blessed in a way to really see firsthand how good the people around me, friends and family that I've had for years, my core people were so supportive and they were so good to me. Seeing that firsthand was like really touching. And then I was able to see in a way the transactional people around me who, they were the ones that were gossiping. They were the ones that weren't talking to me. They were the ones that it was just like, oh, I was like, oh, okay, so that's I was like, I was of value because I was doing this, and like that was happening, and it became obvious in a way. So yeah, biggest lesson is just when you have good people around you, like cherish them, because yeah, it was pretty nice feeling.
Yeah. No, I love that. Thank you for being open, honestly, and sharing all of that and that story. And I couldn't agree more with the people. And as you get older, also, you realize who are the right ones and who are the transactional ones. And it's hard at the moment to see it,
Mm,
but then you see it over time. And
yeah,
yeah. But yeah, thank you. I think a lot of people, will benefit from this conversation and everything that you've been through and all of your life lessons. So thank you for sharing and being open. And I wish you everything the best on this journey. Whatever happens, keep doing you.
cheers to both of us on the comeback journey.
Yeah,
No, it's been fun. Thank you so much for having a chat. It was good little yap.
yeah, it was. Okay, well, thank you guys for watching. And if you like this episode, subscribe to the channel. Oh, also, where can people follow you? On TikTok and Instagram?
Yeah, it's
Just your
just
name.
Thomas Fancutt.
Yeah,
Yeah, nothing crazy,
yeah.
nothing.
Nothing,
Yeah,
nothing. Tennis with Thomas.
yeah, it could be
Uh,
that actually. A little T
very creative
to T. Yeah,
from me too.
just straight rip of
Yeah,
you. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, well, thank you guys and see you in the next episode.